So climate change is not only an environmental and scientific issues but also a profound social justice challenge. It casts the impact and solutions are unevenly distributed across population, reinforcing existing inequalities related to the race and class. So climate change represents one of the most urgent challenges of 20th century, rising the global temperature, increasing the frequency of extreme weather events and sea level rise. So there is also environmental injustice. For example, environmental injustices mean that all people should be treated fairly and no group should be suffer more environmental harm than other. It ensures that everyone, regardless of income, race, location, has the right to a certain and healthy environment, such as the clean air, safe drinking waters, and unpolluted land. So, firstly, we understand the climate changes. So, there are the different causes of the climate change. The first one is the human activity, which we call the anthropogenic causes. The burning fossil fuel like the coal, oil, and the gases, the deforestation, the industrial processes, and the emission. There is also some natural causes such as the volcanic eruption, the solar radiations variations, and the ocean current. So, greenhouse effect is also caused by the climate change. For example, the greenhouse effect occur when gases like the carbon dioxide and methane trap heat in atmosphere, warming the planet. For example, without the greenhouse effect, Earth would be too cold for life. But excessive greenhouse gases cause the global warming. So there is also some economic impacts, for example, damage to agriculture and food security, destructions of the infrastructure due to the storm, and increase the insurance cost. For example, Hurricane Katrina caused over 125 billions in damages. There is some social and health impact, for example, heat related illness and the death, spread of vector borne disease such as the malaria and the dengue, displacement and climate refugees. So, the case study have been observed in the Bangladesh where the frequent flood acting millions of the peoples which have been affected. So there is also the some environmental effects, for example, rising the sea levels and coastal erosions, melting the glaciers and polar ice caps, ocean acidification, and the loss of the biodiversity. So there is some environmental injustice. For example, some people suffer more from pollutions and climate related issues and risk than other, often because of the poverty, race, or the social status. So it's referred to the unequal distributions of environmental benefits and burden among different communities based on the race and the social status. There is also some industrial pollution placement, for example, factories, chemical plants, waste dumps are often located near the poor neighborhoods. For example, in the United States, many industrial facilities are in low income or minority communities, exposing residents to toxic air and the water. There is also some poverty and economic inequalities. For example, poor communication often live in areas where land is cheap. These areas are usually close to the factories, the landfills, highways, and the polluted rivers. Because people are struggling financially, they have little power to move or fight against harmful activities. Governments and companies often ignore these areas because residents lack resources to the protest. Slums near industrial zone face polluted areas and the water. So the climate change's impact have been increased by the floods, heat waves, droughts, and the food storage. So the poor communities are most affected because they live in the unsafe housing. For example, flood destroying the homes. So this is all about the climate change and the causes of the environmental injustice. Thank you so much.